Hi, everyone. My name is Elaine Kim. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm an Asian American woman with chin length black hair, got some gray in there. Wearing a shirt with a red and blue wave pattern, and behind me is a blurred white background. Just before I start, I wanted to invite the fairy godmother spirit of Justin Chin into the room, if he isn't here already. Just thinking about him and the too many other queer artists and writers who've left us too soon. I'm going to read tonight from a short story called Jean. Jean was working on a series of interior portraits, friends and family inside their homes or offices, each canvas no bigger than a couple square feet. He worked from memory, sitting one of them in a room he had been in and remembered, conjuring a face, shoulders, hands. The walls tilted around the figure, a spotted green plant floating, or the floor where a flaking ceiling should be. Jean thought of them as dream paintings, what the sitters would see as they drifted off to sleep under his gaze, his brush hovering, dripping with color. His mind emptied as he worked. Under Jean's hand, his mother appeared. He stroked her hair into life, curved the straight plane of her cheek. A heaviness settled into the flat surface, and he heard what she had said to him yesterday. Anything can happen. And out of nowhere, Jean thought back the time he brought his mother a bag of persimmons he had seen at a gourmet market in the city. These remind me of Korea when I was young, his mother had said as she peeled the soft body. We had a tree in our backyard, and my father would have them waiting for us when we got home from school. They were so sweet, so juicy. Jean's mother shut her eyes as she brought the fruit to her mouth, the persimmon taut and auburn against her gently bagged skin. Her father had suffered a severe stroke at 45 and was never able to work again. Everything changed after that, his mother said, and never said more. Jean remembered visiting his grandparents' small apartment in Ohio, always warm and humid and smelling of beef soup, and coming across a notebook filled with English words, along with a dictionary bound in plastic meant to look like leather. He flipped through the onion skin pages and saw words with pencil check marks next to them, barely visible notes written in Korean in the margins. His grandfather studied and memorized into his old age, but he and Jean never did much more than nod and gesticulate, one or the both of them occasionally uttering words they could recall: butterfly, nabi, refrigerator, 냉장고, candy, 사탕. Jean loved his grandfather and the gentle way he moved through the world, how he laughed with his whole mouth. He was such a different kind of father, with his soft hands and down-sloping eyes, patting Jean quietly on the back until he fell asleep, making small sounds that were neither Korean nor English, but something in between. The first time Jean had ever seen his mother cry was at his grandfather's funeral when the casket closed for the final time. Jean's mother told him her story about the tree in her childhood backyard every time she ate persimmons. Jean nodded along every time, listening as if it were the first telling. There weren't many stories in her repertoire like that one. Most of them were more like this one about when she first arrived in the States. I was in a foreign country, she would say, in a new language, and he was so different. He had become a stranger. I still don't know what happened when we were apart. The year Jean's mother and father spent apart while his mother waited for her student visa to come through had transformed her fiance completely. From who and into what, Jean would never hear about. His mother would shake her head as if she had water in her ears and tighten her lips, saying nothing more. Now Jean painted the persimmons around his mother in her room, flaming orange, glowing pumpkin, sunset bright, finally blood red. They were floating pillows, they were blooming flowers. His mother was surrounded by the fruit of her youth, her eyes hooded and aged, nothing more wrong with her than having weathered the passage of time. Jean's mother had painted once too, watercolor over ink on paper. She had been the first to teach him to transform what he saw with his eyes into lines on the page, into quick strokes of color left behind by movements of hand and arm. My father was a fine draftsman, she had told him. He was an engineer. It's from my side that you get your abilities. She had trained as an architect, but only worked a few years after graduating. She got pregnant with Jean's oldest sister, and that was that. I sometimes feel I wasted my life, she said to him once. He had been thunderstruck at the time, unable to think of anything to say. a swath of regret as wide as a lifetime, as shocking to him as the sudden understanding that they had not been enough, Jean and his sisters. All this time he thought it had been, the shuttling from school to lessons, the packing of lunches, the washing of laundry, the wiping of hands and dinner tables and fresh tears. That was years ago, he realized as he continued to mark her image onto the canvas in front of him. What does she think now? Thank you.